You ever have one of those mornings where you just know something's about to go wrong? Yeah, that was me. Saturday morning, sun out, coffee in hand, and my brand new ATV gleaming in the driveway like a trophy. I'd been saving for months, finally bought it for the upcoming HOA parade. Then came Karen's daughter, Haley. Now, don't get me wrong, she's 22, not a kid. But she's inherited every ounce of her mother's entitlement. She walks straight up my driveway, doesn't say hello, doesn't even blink, just points at my ATV and goes, "You're going to give that to me, now." I laughed. Thought she was joking, but the look in her eyes? No, she meant it. She crosses her arms, leans in and says, "Mom says you can't use it for the parade. HOA rules, so I'll take it instead." At this point, my brain's buffering. The HOA had approved my float, in writing. So I tell her, "Maybe go check the rules again, Haley." Her face twists into that Karen-level scowl. "Fine," she snaps, yanks out her phone and starts recording. "Let's see what the police say about you harassing me." Wait, harassing her? I'm literally standing in my own driveway holding a cup of coffee. Within 10 minutes, a squad car pulls up. Yep, she actually called the cops. I'm standing there, stunned, while Haley starts spinning her Oscar-worthy drama about me threatening her and stealing HOA property. The officer steps out, already looking tired. "Sir, we got a call. Can you tell me what's going on?" So I explain, calmly, hand him my HOA approval letter. And here's where it gets good. While Haley's talking, the officer's radio crackles with a voice I'll never forget. "Officer, this is State Attorney Collins. Yes, that's my neighbor. Please handle this accordingly." Haley's face drains. You could have heard a pin drop. The officer straightens up, nods and tells her, "Ma'am, I suggest you step away from his property." I sip my coffee, trying not to smile. Because what Haley didn't know? State Attorney Collins isn't just my neighbor. He's also the guy riding next to me on the parade float. And this was only the beginning. You'd think after the state attorney himself stepped in, the drama would be over. But no, because if there's one thing predictable about Karen and her family, it's that they don't quit when they're wrong. They double down. Not even an hour later, I'm back in my garage, trying to secure the ATV on the trailer for the parade. Then I hear it, heels clicking down my driveway like a countdown to chaos. And there she is, Karen, hair stiff as armor, sunglasses reflecting pure judgment. HOA clipboard in hand like a weapon. "Excuse me," she snaps, not even a hello. "Why are you harassing my daughter?" I take a deep breath. "Karen, I didn't harass anyone. Your daughter tried to take my ATV. The police already cleared everything up." She scoffs, actually scoffs. "Haley told me what happened. You intimidated her. You yelled at her. And you illegally parked this," she gestures dramatically at the ATV, "machine of destruction on HOA property." Machine of destruction. It's a 450cc recreational ATV, not a tank. Before I can even respond, she's pulling out her phone. "I'm calling the HOA president. We'll see about your little approval letter." That's when my other neighbor, Mr. Collins, the state attorney, steps out of his house, still in a t-shirt and flip-flops, holding his morning paper. He says calmly, "Karen, I was the one who approved his float. You're overstepping." Karen freezes mid-dial. "You approved it?" He nods. "And as a legal representative of this district, I'd advise you to stop harassing residents before someone files a formal complaint." Now, you'd think she'd back down, right? Wrong. Karen straightens her shoulders, points at me, and says, "You'll regret this. The parade is a community event. If you show up with that contraption, I'll have the cops escort you out myself." Collins sighs. "Then I'll escort him in." Karen storms off, muttering something about rules and respect, dragging Haley behind her. I think it's over. But that evening, when I go to check my garage, my ATV has been tampered with. The fuel line's cut clean. That's when I realize this isn't just HOA drama anymore. Karen's turning it into a war. Parade day. The air smells like popcorn, sunscreen, and chaos waiting to happen. The streets are packed with families, floats lined up, kids waving flags, and me, standing proudly beside my now-repaired ATV, freshly polished and ready to roll. Mr. Collins, our local, state attorney and accidental hero, is right beside me on his convertible float, giving me a thumbs up. Everything's perfect. For about 7 minutes. Because guess who shows up? Karen and Haley. Matching hats, clipboards, and the unmistakable swagger of people who believe rules don't apply to them. Karen marches right up to the parade marshal, whispers something, then points straight at me. Within seconds, the marshal walks over, looking uncomfortable. "Hey, we've had a complaint," he says. "Apparently your float wasn't cleared through HOA protocol." I hand him the approval letter, again. He checks it, nods, and says, "Looks fine to me. You're good to go." But Karen's not satisfied. She storms over, waving her phone like a sword. "You don't understand. This man has violated multiple HOA ordinances. That vehicle is unsafe for a public event." Haley chimes in, "Yeah, it's leaking oil. It's a hazard." Spoiler, it's not. My ATV is spotless. The crowd's starting to notice. People are staring. A few even start recording. Karen's voice gets louder. She's yelling about negligence, rules, and children's safety. Then she does it. She steps in front of my float, arms crossed, blocking the road. "Until the HOA approves, you're not moving this thing an inch," she declares. The parade marshal's panicking. The kids on the next float are confused. Mr. Collins pinches the bridge of his nose like he's dealing with a toddler. I'm about to say something when a police siren blares behind us. A cruiser rolls up slowly, lights flashing. An officer steps out, the same one from the other day. "Ma'am, we meet again," he says dryly. Karen starts her speech, but he holds up a hand. "We've already confirmed this float is permitted. You're obstructing a public event. Step aside." Karen refuses. So he radios in. 2 more officers arrive and gently escort me forward, clearing the way. And just like that, my float rolls down Main Street, with a police escort. People are cheering. I wave, trying not to laugh as Karen fumes in the background. But here's the twist. What happened after the parade? That's when the real shock hit. By the time the parade ended, I thought the chaos was finally behind me. Kids loved the float. People clapped. Even the mayor came over to say it was the most creative entry of the day. I was on cloud 9. But you know who wasn't? Karen. As I was packing up, I noticed her pacing near the parking lot, phone glued to her ear. Haley stood beside her, red-faced and whispering frantically. I couldn't hear much, just bits and pieces like press charges and property damage. Then, like a storm cloud, Karen stomps toward me with that same smug fire she always has. "You'll be hearing from my lawyer," she says, waving her phone. "You endangered this community and I have proof." I blink. "Proof of what? That I drove in a parade?" She smirks. "That you assaulted me by driving toward me while I was protecting the children." Now, let me paint the picture here. I was going 1 mile per hour behind 2 police cars. If anyone was in danger, it was the bubble machine next to me. Before I can even respond, Mr. Collins, still in his parade sash, walks up holding a clipboard. "Funny," he says, "because I just received the official footage from the city cameras. They clearly show you obstructing a permitted vehicle." Karen freezes. "What?" he continues. "And since you called 911 with a false report last week and tried to block a city event today, that's actually a misdemeanor under local law." Haley blurts, "You can't charge her for that." Collins just raises an eyebrow. "I can't, but the DA can. And since I work with them, let's just say it's already being reviewed." Karen's face goes pale. For once, she's speechless. The police officer from earlier steps up and says, "Ma'am, I suggest you head home before you make things worse." She mutters something about unfair treatment, grabs Haley's arm, and marches off. The crowd's watching. Some people even clapping quietly as she disappears into the parking lot. A few minutes later, Collins turns to me and says, "You handled that better than most. Next time, maybe stick to a float without a Karen escort." We both laugh. The best part? A week later, I got a letter from the HOA. Not an apology. Of course, but a formal notice that Karen and Haley were suspended from all event committees indefinitely. Justice served, HOA style. And as for me, let's just say next year's float is going to be bigger, louder, and twice as bright. Because when a Karen tells you you can't, that's when you definitely. If you enjoyed watching Karen lose her HOA crown, make sure to hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite moment, and subscribe for more wild HOA and Karen stories every week. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. It's even crazier.